I didn't say this before, but you have an imaginary alter ego named Crooked, who sometimes makes you do bad things without knowing they're bad, like for instance today. You get home from work around 7 or so after closing up at the car rental place and catching the bus over to the pub in the dingy part of town for a pint. As is your custom, your head still reeling from the interaction with the bizarre Harvey Johnson. After you've taken off your shoes and coat, you find Ashley upstairs in the bedroom watching a show on her laptop. She puts away the laptop when you come in, smiling. "Hey babe, how was work?" You go up to her and kiss her nicely on the mouth, tasting her delicious milky tongue. Baby, Falling into a dream, you happily kiss her for a while longer and rub your hands up and down her fleece loungewear and sneak your hands in through the crack between her top and her bottom so you can feel her warm pelvis before pulling away and sitting down on the edge of the bed.
"Something strange happened at work today."
"Oh, really? What?"
"A man came in and rented a car from us, and he was acting very strangely."
"Oh, really? How?"
"He kept muttering under his breath about enlightenment and all this nonsense. And then at the end, after I gave him the keys, he looked me straight in the eye and said that there was no secret to enlightenment, whatever that means. And then he flat out denied it when I asked him about it. Can you believe that?"
"Wow, what a weirdo." She frowns slightly. "But you look upset. Why did that upset you?"
"It's just, why was he saying that stuff? And what does that mean? There's no secret to enlightenment."
"I don't know. Do you believe in that stuff? I certainly don't. Enlightenment schmenlightenment for all I care."
"Why don't you care about it?"
"I've never cared about it. It's never been important to me. What's the big deal? So what? You live your life and you die and that's it. Or whatever. You keep on being born and dying forever. So what? What's the big deal? You know what that enlightenment and yoga and free love smells like? It smells like the same ass-kissing, brown-nosing bullshit as in high school. And where did all their A-pluses get them, huh? So what? They have more money than us? So what? Who cares? It's the same as with the hippie bullshit. Enlightened or not enlightened, Buddha or not Buddha, it's all the same. You can be a tryhard if you want to, but you're not any better than the screw-ups." You like hearing Ashley say this, so you kiss her and climb on top of her and try to imprint the feeling of her body into your mind. But she and everything will always be dust. So you scooch back a little and lie facing her. "What's wrong? Come, kiss me more."
"Ashley, would you marry me?"
What the fuck? Are you proposing to me?"
"No, I'm just wondering. Do you feel like you could marry me right now?"
"Oh, Robert, why, I haven't the faintest idea. What a foolish man you are, dear. Why ask us such a thing? This Mr. Johnson from the car rental place has really done something to you. My God."
"Now why am I foolish to ask that?"
"Why, Robert, because we've only been together for 2 years, and, well..."
"Yeah, but I don't care about that. Babe, I've been thinking about, well, having kids, starting a family. I want to be a dad before I get too old. Babe, it's so quiet in this house when I get home. Quiet and dark. I want to have a reason to live. I have nothing right now."
Ashley pushes you away. "Nothing?"
"That's not what I meant. Babe, I didn't mean that. I just mean that, like, no offense, but you're not enough. I wish you were, but it just doesn't work like that. I'm sorry."
It's quiet for a few moments. "Well, if that's how you feel, then I guess I'll just fuck off then."
"Ashley, come on, why would you say that? Babe, I love you."
"No, you love yourself. You just want to use me."
"What? What are you talking about? How am I using you?"
You think of me as just one of your assets. You never even asked me what I want out of life."
"Okay, babe, I'm sorry. What do you want out of life?"
"I'm in my prime right now. I'm the graphic designer of a very important company. I'm hot. I have my whole life ahead of me. I'm not thinking about having kids right now, Robert. And if I go through my whole adulthood without having kids, I won't regret it, because I'll know I was doing something with my life. If you're all depressed and unfulfilled, that's your problem, and I don't think the solution is to have kids. Especially since you're not the fucking one who has to carry those bastards in your womb for 9 months and then fucking give birth to them. I think the solution is to deal with your issues. You roll over onto your back, sort of a little past flat on your back, so that you can give Ashley the cold shoulder a bit. After a few moments, you soften, thinking about Ashley's flat stomach and plucked eyebrows, and you murmur, "I'm sorry, Ashley. I really didn't mean to be a dick. I do love you, and I could see myself being with you forever." Ashley gets up. "Where are you going?" You sit up to find her heading away from you toward the bathroom. "I need to take a shower." She closes the door. Do you see how crooked messed things up for you? If you hadn't gotten into it with Ashley, you probably would be making love right now. Instead, you're lying in bed, feeling dreadful, with a headache coming on. We've just passed Hoyt Skirmerhorn, having caught the C train at 155th Street. We passed most of the trip in silence, sitting beside one another in one of the little seats at a right angle to another, with barely any legroom, our shoulders and elbows barely touching. Frankly, I'm not really looking forward to having sex with God, mostly because I'm not real and neither is He. The lights are dim and cold and slightly yellowish. The seats are moldy yellow and fecal orange. I'm sitting in biology when Martin Smith comes in from the hallway with a folded up white poster. He comes up to me and opens the poster. It reads, "Anya, you are the bomb. Take me to prom?" There's a box of candy taped to the poster. Everyone's looking at me. I glance at Mr. Weston, who's kind of averting his eyes in, I suppose, boredom and pity. Will you go to prom with me?" I look up at Martin's messy blonde hair, blue eyes, and dry lips, bared in a crooked smile. "Sure, Martin." I get up out of my seat and give him a hug. The whole class applauds as Martin gleefully departs. A few moments later, there's silence once again, and our lesson continues, until interrupted by another promposal. I look over at Anya sitting next to me, obviously uncomfortable, trying to sit as far away from me as she can while being squished between me and the side of the train, and I laugh, tickling her in the side with my pointer finger. "Stop!" She grunts. I laugh. "What? I'm not doing anything." She doesn't look at me. She's fuming about something. She's obviously distressed, but I'm just laughing. In fact, my name is laughter. "This is our stop," says Anya suddenly, pushing me out of my seat and marching out the door. "The station is filthy. Well, not filthy. At least there are no visible feces. But there's graffiti on the walls, there are puddles of moisture in the concrete beside the walls, there are rats crawling around on the tracks. A lump is sitting on one of the wooden benches, smoking a cigarette. He never rides any of the trains." Anya leads me back to her place, past the Rite Aid on the corner, beside the subway station, past the numerous smoke shops and liquor stores illuminated by neon and LED lights, past the boarded-up esoteric Afro-Judeo-Christian temple, past the weave shop, past Atlantic Avenue, past the gas station, up the slight incline, and left onto Dean Street. Night fell while we were riding over here. Now the car headlights pour into the street lamps as a brisk, chilly wind screams by. There's a metal security door before Anya's front door that requires one code, followed by another one for the white plastic front door. Anya glances at me scathingly as she steps into the foyer. The lights are cold and bright. The floor is a shiny white tile that reflects the light from the ceiling. Our shoes giggle as we walk over to Anya's apartment, the rear on the ground floor. This door, too, requires a code. The apartment is dark. Anya's bedroom is the first on the left. She opens the unlocked door and flicks on the light. Her face is upset as she sits down on the simple wooden chair in the corner of her small room, leaving the navy blue velvet couch open for me. "Why don't you put on some music?" I say, sitting down. She sits there for a moment and blocks out everything but her breath. She puts her thumbs in her ears, but when she opens up her eyes, I'm still here. What kind of music do you like? I like what you like, I laugh. She takes out her phone and plugs it into the speakers on the floor beside her. Out starts to trickle beautiful music. I get off the couch and pull Anya into my embrace, down on the bed. I kiss her and touch her and make love to her, while she lies there limp, tears falling out of her eyes. This is what you think as you walk into the grocery store full of rape fantasies. You've been jacking off to porn every night in the bathroom as Ashley continues to ignore you, so you're deranged. Every woman you see is a slobbery pussy waiting for you to abuse and dissect, more so than usual. There's a flickering bulb in the produce section. You want to reach up and pull the whole light fixture down, but it's too high up. Anya and God are in her apartment in Brooklyn, lying in bed together, naked, their chests rising and falling rapidly. God out of elation, and Anya out of mortification. It started to rain softly, and they can hear the droplets against the window and the little driveway beside the window. You're at work, and Crooked decides to act up again. This is the 5th day since your faux pas with Ashley, and the first day since Ashley sat you down after dinner and said, "I don't think it's going to work out between us. I'm sorry." You talked about it with her for a while, but she had obviously closed up her heart shortly after the original incident. It comes down to me just finding your dependence on me very unattractive. I'll admit that it's flattering, but it's really not something I'm looking for in a mate. I don't feel that way about you. To me, you or any mate is there to make my life easier, and vice versa, with things like splitting the rent and food and gas and sex, not from whom to derive my existential foundation. To me, hearing you tell me that you need me or that I complete you is a turnoff, and it makes me think of you as my kid, which is gross. You sat there nursing a beer and let her say all that to you. You didn't get mad. You simply croaked.
So, where does that leave things?
I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I took the day off of work so I can move. I'll be living with my parents for a little while. I'm not going to take much, only my clothes and a few other things.
I'll have to move out too. I can't afford this place by myself.
Well, so be it. You'll have to do it this weekend, I guess. Then she went upstairs, leaving you the couch to sleep on and your sorrows to drown in booze and porn. That was last night. This morning, a quiet, partly cloudy morning, you're a little hungover, tired and sad, but you make it to work on time and manage to pretend everything's normal for the first 20 minutes while you brew the coffee and straighten the pens and scroll through social media. You even remember to check the overnight drop-off box. But when Jenny walks in with her plain face, her straight hair, and her blue button-up and khakis and asks how you are, you blurt out,
"My girlfriend left me last night. I've seen it coming. She had me sleeping on the couch for a few days now, but she gave me her decision last night. I'm feeling a little ill because of it. Sorry if that's too unprofessional."
Jenny softens, but only to the minimum obliged of her, and she says, "I'm sorry to hear that. I think Carlos and I would understand if you took the day off or something."
"No, that's okay. It's better to be here with you. I'll just try to hold myself together. Things are still raw, I guess."
"Right, yeah, that's too bad." Now ensues an awkward silence in which you ponder the pores on Jenny's face, wondering if they would be oily to the touch. And Jenny, avoiding your gaze, goes over to the coffee pot and pours a cup for herself.
"She's pretty cute, don't you think?"
whispers Crooked.
No, that's highly inappropriate. Besides, I'm sure she doesn't even like me." "You're wrong. I saw her. She always makes eyes at you when you're not looking. I'm surprised you haven't noticed it yourself. She's practically screaming for you to take her."
Carlos comes in. "Hi, everyone."
"Hi, Carlos."
"Hi, Carlos. How are you?" "Oh, I'm all right. My littlest boy kept me up with his crying, but I can't complain. I love my family to death." You all smile, thinking about Carlos's little boys, whom you've never seen, and thus the day begins and proceeds in its usual monotony, made just the slightest more insufferable by your hangover and broken heart, until lunchtime when Carlos takes his break first and you are left alone with Jenny.
Jenny,
Grins Crooked, showing his teeth.
would you come back here to the utility closet for a moment? I want to go over something with you.
Sure. Jenny follows you over to the closet, which you open and enter, pretending to look for such and such object.
Can you try to find the bleach?
Jenny steps into the closet and you close the door, barring her exit.
Hey, what's your problem? Let me out. I want you, Jenny, and I know you want me too.
No, I don't. Let me out. No, help. You go over to her and seize her in your arms, groping her body as she struggles against you.
Help! Shut up.
You put your hands over her mouth and twist her neck hard. She stops struggling, and you touch her with great relish now, taking out your cock and fucking her mouth with it before taking off her clothes and raping her with vigor.
Robert!
Carlos is banging at the door, but he can't find a way to open it. You take your orgasm once, twice, thrice before the police arrive, force their way into the utility closet, and arrest you in all your derangement. As they're leading you to the cop car, Harvey Johnson, come to return his car, steps out onto the parking lot with a perplexed look on his face and mutters, "Now which of them is God and which the devil?" Before shaking his head, leaving the keys in the drop box and walking away, his eyes fixed